Alright class, fine. Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, a very special good evening once again to all of you. Yeah, good evening Shreyas, good evening Navin, and good evening Technical Deva. That's what a name I could read here. Okay, and good evening others as well. Fine, we welcome you at the day 35 of our full stack web development web series. Alright. Okay, I hope audibility, visibility all clear and set to go ahead. All of us? If so, please acknowledge to us in the chat section. Audibility, visibility all clear to go ahead. Is that fine? Chaliye. Alright. Myself Shabnam from the Code Ark. Let's quickly start our session. Since we have got to do a lot of things about jQuery today. Alright, fine. Let's have a quick 1 to 2 minute recap of what we have learned yesterday. In fact, this is what is jQuery we understood, right? This is jQuery. It's a small and a lightweight library. Okay, fine. Some of you said that you were confused between libraries and the framework. We are going to come up to that a yet clean definition which will differentiate very good between the two. Okay, the main purpose of jQuery is to make complicated code of Java simple. Right, so it is a sort of write less and do more. Otherwise, what JavaScript does in 4 lines, it might achieve in just 1 line or 2 lines. Okay, the best example was yesterday. The best example was that factory function. Am I right? This factory function, also called as a selector of jQuery. This is almost equivalent to write document dot get element by ID or by name or by something like that. In fact, we can also select element by ID, by name, or even by class. Am I right? So if it's a class, we used to write the dot and class name. And if it's an ID, so selector writes hashtag and the ID name. Is that okay? All of us fine? So this is how the selector tag works in jQuery. Alright, okay. jQuery has some effects. jQuery has some methods. jQuery has some event. jQuery has a lot of other things to explain. But yesterday I think we have learned just effects, correct? Fine. Let me quickly go through what effects we have learned yesterday. This is my Visual Studio Code open. Okay, this is same yesterday's program. If you could see, this is that JavaScript file of jQuery which we need to keep pasted in our HTML document. That is jQuery.min.js. Thank you very much. Okay, all clear. Fine. Take care. So these were some functions which were the, let me call them as effects people. This is what we're talking about, effects of jQuery that we learned. Okay, let me put some here. Say like some of them were display effects. Okay, display effects like show, hide, or toggle. Some of them were let me say sliding effects. So that was slide up, slide down. Yep, of course jQuery is case sensitive. Small d or capital D matters here. Okay, and slide toggle. Then there were some fading effects. So that was fade in, fade out, fade to. If you are providing some opacity, correct? Here we used to write the opacity. That means transparency. Alright, fine. And something fade toggle also. And there were also some other effects that's an extras like delay or animate. Okay, if you have remembered how I made a paragraph to animate, maybe its width changes or its height changes. Okay people, I request you just a moment please. Actually my WhatsApp is on and that's creating a lot of, okay, take it, stick it, let's come back here. Alright, so this was all about yesterday's class. Guys, I also asked you yesterday to start working on a project which was a snake game. Am I right? Try. Initially you will find it little difficult, but slowly develop it piece by piece. थोड़ा थोड़ा करिए, 4-5 दिन का time लो. Okay, take 4 to 5 days or maybe 8 days. Try to build it, because gaming, I speak again, gaming is one of the best method to improve the logic. It forces you to brainstorm your mind, come to certain conclusions, take decision. Alright, that power gaming has. And when it comes to gaming, in fact JavaScript is one of the most popular language there. Hoping you're getting the point. All of us are fine. Alright, today we are going to learn some methods and some events. Both of them are equally important with respect to jQuery. Alright, हम method और event सीखकर jQuery खत्म कर देंगे, जबकि jQuery has lot more ahead to understand, like jQuery's interpretation with or integration with Ajax. You understood? And then many other things to talk about jQuery, but let me tell you one thing, another thing here. As I already told you yesterday, we aren't going to use jQuery anywhere in our final project. That is the full e-commerce, full-fledged working website. We are going to work with frameworks better than jQuery, like React, Angular, or maybe our Django. Alright, so that's the reason we will minimize the content of jQuery. जितना ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा काफ़ी है उतना. Alright, so that you are equally prepared for the interview also. Alright. Okay, starting from methods. Methods, people. Ideally, methods are ordinary functions that library or a class has got to offer. Is that okay, people? Even methods are functions, even effects are functions. You see, anything that ends with opening, closing, round bracket, that's a function. Right? How did we use show yesterday as a function? How did we use hide yesterday as a function? आज आप देखोगे, there are so many methods. You got my point? There are so many methods like. You could see all these are methods. Okay. Text, it's a method. HTML, it's a method. Alright. Before, let me write here. These are different methods called as text. It returns the text of an element. Or let me say HTML, even that returns or sets text for an element. I'll tell you one by one then. Okay, before, this is a method. After, this is a method. Append, this is a method. Pre-append, this is a method. One more, few more, let me write. Let me say remove, this is a method. Empty, this is a method. But these are simple functions. Right, to remove an element is not producing any effect, so that's the reason it never comes in this category. Alright, retrieving the text of the paragraph is not producing any effect, therefore it is called as an ordinary function, not an effect. I hope you got my point. Alright, adding something before or adding some content after a line or a text, that is not giving any effect. It's in any ordinary function. Alright, so all these stuffs comes under method. I stop here, but there are many more methods. You can always find this list of methods from the official jQuery website. Okay, events. Come on, events are always those actions. Come on, those actions created or generated by user. Am I right? The one who is responsible to generate event is a user. Like click. That's an event, people. It's not any method. Alright, you can say double click also. Yep, right click also. Key up. That means when any keyboard key is released. Key down, when any keyboard key is pressed. Similarly, mouse over. Okay, for example, I keep my mouse over this text following. If I take away my mouse, that means it is mouse out. Mouse over, mouse out. For example, again, you look, see, the moment I keep my pointer on this option, it highlights or it hovers. Am I right? See, here it highlights or it simply hovers. Right? Again, it highlights at least. That means mouse over. The moment I bring the mouse out, the effect is gone. Mouse over, mouse out. तो ये माउस को ऊपर नीचे हिलाते जाना आपका एक्शन है. ये एक्शन था. That's the reason it comes under the category called as events. Okay, all of us are fine. Starting here from the first method, that is HTML. HTML and text are almost same with a minor difference. Let's see that. Okay, let's see that. Fine, here we go. So this much part I have kept it ready. So this is day 35 jQuery tutorial. Required library, I have already kept it pasted from yesterday's code. Okay, take care. Oh, what are we doing for, by the way? Okay, let me have some paragraph here. Say id is equals to p1, hello, paragraph closes. Again paragraph, id is equals to p2. Let me say hi, paragraph closes. Again paragraph opens, id is equals to p3. And let me say enjoy. That's it. Okay, fine. Okay, let me create one button also. Button id is equals to p1, and on the button I have written click. Is that fine? Okay, I think that's already running behind. Is it? No, it is not. Never mind. I run this program with a live server. Okay, fine. So this is how. But the click button is not at all associated with either of these paragraphs. Correct? Now, what does HTML function does? It's a method, right? We are discussing method, people. Alright. It returns the content of first match or all match tags. Alright, all match tags. It simply returns the content. That means, for example, see, here we go. Okay, so this is a head part. Inside the head part, I write a script tag. Okay, I write a script. Inside the script, I simply write here, let me say, dollar function. That means when a document is ready. Is that right? When the document is ready, what to do? People, करना क्या है आपको when the document is ready? Let me create an anonymous function. Okay, I create one anonymous function, and this function is going to handle the click event. So let me call the button whose ID is B1. Okay, click. This is a function. Right? And this is again going to take an anonymous function because this events accepts argument who are anonymous functions. Okay, so this way. Okay, what I want to do is I simply write here. Paragraph tags dot HTML. Okay, that means if the button B1 is clicked, call the function HTML, who is only going to return the content of the paragraph tags. Okay, who is going to return the content of the paragraph tags. Okay, okay, let me see what it does. So I come here. Why there is no output? Good evening, madam. Good evening. Okay, because if it is returning something, we need to accept in some argument. Okay, we need to accept in some argument. I have written the name of the paragraph, just tag. You want, you can write some ID name as well, correct? Like only P1 or only P2. Okay, and if I want to display that, so let me say alert A. Okay, alert A. Let's see what happens. Is that okay? That is hello. It says me hello. Alright. That's the reason I told you, the first matched element. Is that okay? So tell me who is the first matched paragraph? The one whose ID is P1. The first matched paragraph. So that means its text is nothing here but hello. This is what the paragraph contains. So it reads this text and returns to the program. And when it returns to the program, I store that return value in my variable A and I display A. Is that okay? Fine. Achha. So in case instead of hashtag P, and if I use hashtag P2, check what happens. Okay, because P2 contains the text hi, so it returns hi. Okay, and similarly, let me not display anything in the paragraph 3. So this is empty. Come on, third paragraph has no text. People, can you see that? Those who have joined us late and even those who are already attending, thoda dhyan yahan se dijiye. Come on, whatever is a text of the first paragraph, I want to display in the third paragraph. So let me read what is the text of the first paragraph using HTML function. It will read the content of the first paragraph and return, which we are storing in A. This time I don't want to display A using alert, but I want to set the value of A to P3. How we will do that? Quick. Right. So simply I say dollar function. This time who's that? Hashtag P3 dot HTML A. Okay, A. Let me not use A first. Let me write something. How are you? So what happens here is, okay, I forgot to click. Come on. So when I click, it displays how are you, right? Okay, focus only on this point, people. So the first way we use HTML was just to return the content, and here we are using HTML function to set the content, correct? Hurry up, I speak this point one more time. Inside this code, we are using HTML function firstly to return the content of the tag. Okay, content of the tag, and secondly to set the content of the tag. Okay people, ये काम हम चाहते तो text function से भी कर सकते थे, text text. Instead of writing HTML, I write dot text. Then also the same thing happens. The only difference between two is HTML return the content with markup. Okay, markup means what? You know, the tags, people, tags. So tags के साथ markup effects के साथ return करता है. आपको भले दिखाता ना हो. You understood? But the more we dig into JSON and all, you will come to know that okay, it returns the contents with markup. जबकि text never return the content with markup. That is some effect, bold effect, italic effect and all. It doesn't return the content with markup. It returns only the raw text. Are you getting it? It simply returns the raw text. So choice is yours. You want to use text function, you want to use HTML function to read the content of any tag. Okay, all of us, fine. So tell me, what are we doing now? We are reading what is present in paragraph 1, storing it in A, and the same content we are displaying or setting to paragraph number 3. So here we go. Correct. Let me click. Okay, because hello was read and hello is set. Is that okay? Since hello was read and hello is set. Okay, waiting for someone to acknowledge in the chat section, people. Is this concept clear or not? All of us. Abhi kya hoga bataiye? Come on. What will happen now? Hello, what will happen now? I have an input box. Say input type is equals to text and ID is equals to T1. Yes, clear. Thank you, Rajat. Okay, good. Okay, type is equals to text as well as ID is equals to T1. So if I save this, let me see. Okay, this is here. Okay, see, I type some name, say the code Ark. Alright, so it is working. Fine, come back here. Now, if somebody clicks on the button after the document is loaded, and if somebody clicks on the button, I want the content of T1 to be read and set on the paragraph. Let's see. Okay, fine. So that means if it is a text box, we can't use HTML, we can't use let me say the text function. Here it is a val. That is because input has a value, people. Try to understand. Okay, you're taking something as input from the user, that is called as a value. जो पैराग्राफ के पास था वो उसका टेक्स्ट है या उसका HTML कंटेंट है. Alright. Similarly, if I use here division tag, I say div id is equals to d1. This is a division tag. Is that okay? This is a division tag. So let me read what's there in division tag. So let me say d1, d1. Okay, so it is not working. Why? Because this is not a value. This is a text or it's an HTML. Is that okay? Somebody who could please make me with this fact clear, please. अभी कैसे काम किया? You see, when I write d1.text or d1.html, text and HTML almost work same. With a small difference, one returns the text with markup effect, other returns the text without the markup effect. We don't have any such markup effect here to be shown. Alright, but value हम तब use करते हैं when the input is to be taken from the user, like input box or even checkbox or even the radio button and so on. Clear? Fine. ठीक है. So D1 से input लिया और paragraph पे हमने display कर दिया. This is how it works. So these were the two functions. Okay. So going somewhat ahead from here. Okay. Going ahead from here. People, these are some interesting functions before, after. Okay. Before and after. Let me keep my mouth shut. Let me see आप खुद से समझते हैं क्या? Okay, today I'm not creating so many ready functions. I'm working inside the same ready function. Got it? Okay. So if this B1 button is been coded from year to year, I'm still inside the scope of the function, right? So what I do is I create one more button. Check it out, please. Check it out. I create one more button. Say call this button as B2. Let me give name to this button as, what are we doing? Okay, before. Okay. And if somebody clicks on this function, help me to write that selector code. The button whose ID is B2, click. Am I right? This simple code is equivalent to write. People, ये पूरा code is equal to write. Hello. This full code is equal to write. 1 minute. Document dot get element by ID, that is B2. I hope you got my point. Dot click on click and all. Attach the event handler and so on. So this is the shortcut of writing this code in JQuery. Okay, so if B2 is clicked, करना क्या है भाई? आपको करना क्या है? Let me set this anonymous function, code it, which is going to append. Okay, which is going to append. So let me say all the paragraph tags dot before. Let me say call this as welcome. Is that okay? Fine. Understood. Okay, okay. So before all the paragraph tags, we are appending a message called as welcome. Let's see it works or not. It works or not. Okay, so if I say before, I hope you got my point. Okay, so before hello, this was the first paragraph, people. This welcome was attached. Before hi, this welcome was attached. So if I can be a little faster here, if instead of before, if I use after. People, these are simple effects, that help us to achieve some kind of messages. For example, dollar, I want to always display after amount. Am I right? Is that okay? Just a dollar ho gaya people, dollar sign. So if the amount is, for example, let me write this in the notepad here. ये सब हम कब यूज करेंगे, इसके applications क्या है? Okay, suppose bill amount is rupees 1500, but I actually want to display like this $1500 or 1500 INR or rupees wala sign. Is that okay? Something, or maybe 1500 pound. People, 1500 pounds. So that should be always appended after. Is that okay, right? After displaying time, I always want to append IST. That is a time zone. So something maybe we always want to show before, something we always want to show after, so on so forth. Correct. So this is how the practical implementation you can use this easy stuff of jQuery. Okay. So instead of before, I have written after here, and I'm little quick. ठीक है, तो वेलकम हर जगह पैराग्राफ के बाद में आ गया. आपको पर्टिकुलर पैराग्राफ चाहिए. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see this one, insert after. Okay, insert after. So let me take this part. Say inside B bold, I say welcome to jQuery, and the bold ends. Okay, insert after, not after. Insert after, of course, like insert after, you have insert before also. Insert after, maybe which paragraph tag you have to answer that. Okay, insert after. If I write just P, that means all the paragraphs. Is that okay? Fine. Insert after, that is all the paragraphs. So this is almost same like insert only or after only. Am I right? The only difference is you're writing the content first. That's it. Hoping you are understanding. Correct? Okay. Achha, similarly check what do you mean by prepend and this way. Okay, let me not change that code in case if someone wants that. Let me take once again some other, okay, same button. Let's take the same button, hashtag v2 dot click. Okay, same button, function. Okay, so this time we are using prepend. So all the paragraphs should prepend hi, or let me say welcome. Okay, simple, in fact, simple. Check it out how it works. Okay, so this is prepend. Am I right? This is prepend. And the same thing, instead of prepend, if I write append, let me comment this. Because 2 effects se wo bata raha hai. Right. Instead of prepend, if I make use of append, okay, that means it is showing something after. Alright, understanding it, right? So this way you experiment something on your own, like what could be append2. Say I want to append this message maybe only to paragraph, not to all, or maybe just to div tags and so on. Alright, if somebody clicks on a button, I want to remove something. Right. So for example, I have this division tag and I have a button. Pay attention, please pay attention. So this is a button B3, and this button gives me an option to remove some content. So if someone clicks on this button whose ID is B3, alright, so hashtag B3 dot click. So when this button B3 is clicked, what to do? A function is declared here, anonymous function is declared, which will call the division tag. Now I know I have only one div tag, that's the reason I'm writing the tag name. If there are multiple divs, better call them by their IDs. Dot remove. Okay, if a tag is removed, any tag inside it will also be removed. What does that mean? Right? For example, inside div, if I have a paragraph, so that will also be removed. Paragraph ends. Right? अगर मेन parent tag चला जाता है तो अंदर के child nodes भी चली जाएंगी. That's what I want to say. Correct. Let's see how it works. Okay, so this is a division tag, this is a div, and if I say remove, it's gone. Right? That's gone. Instead of remove, अगर आपको suppose पूरा tag नहीं निकालना है, you just want to remove the content inside the tag. Okay, maybe this paragraph should become empty, and next time I will set another content here. For example, now the bill amount is 1500. Hello everyone. जैसे कि अभी bill amount 1500 है. Where should I write here? Alright, so 1500. After doing add to cart and all, rupees, dollar, whatever it is, after paying the bill, so this content should be cleared. Am I right? Not entire paragraph should be deleted. Say ID of this paragraph is bill. Okay, here we display the bill amount. So after calculating, maybe this was amount displayed, but once the cart payment was cleared, तो हमको ये पूरा एलिमेंट नहीं निकाल डालना है भाई. We just want to clear the content. So that's a simple jQuery code. Just empty the paragraph, not remove the paragraph. उसको खाली कर दो, empty the paragraph. How will you do that? In that case, right? I just say instead of remove, empty. Okay. Let me not call this button as remove. उसके ऊपर हम title देते हैं pay bill. Okay, pay bill. Assuming that bill will be paid after clicking this button. Once the bill is paid, the cart should be empty. Cart should not be deleted. It should be just empty. So if I could come here and if I say, the effect scene is almost same, but the element still exists. That means, कल को अगर आप ऐसा कोड लिखते हो, call this element, everybody. कल को अगर आप suppose ऐसा कोड लिखते हो, when some other button is clicked, call that div or paragraph tag whose ID is p1. p1 ही लिखा ना नीचे. What is it? d1. Am I right? So call this d1 and set उसका text as some bill amount. Amount is a variable containing the value of. Are you understanding? So this will work. This code will still work because div last time was not removed. It was just made empty. I would be glad if somebody acknowledged to me in the chat section. Are you understanding the difference between the two functions? आपने खाली वो उसको खाली किया people, उसको निकाल नहीं डाला, उसको सिर्फ खाली किया है. राकेश, नवीन, राजी गुरु, रजत, श्रेयस, other of my friends who are present here. Is this examples and differences clear? No? Okay, fine. Shall be waiting for a response. Alright, fine. Okay, clone is nothing but a copy. It's like copy paste. Okay, it's like copy from one place and paste into another place. जल्दी जल्दी पता है इसका मीनिंग क्या होगा. ये सब मैंने थोड़ा थोड़ा कोड लिख कर रखा है just to make you understand. In case if time doesn't permit us to type and write. If somebody clicks on the button whose ID is B5, come on, what will be the meaning of this code? If somebody clicks on this button whose ID is B5, clone the paragraph. People see cloning is nothing but making a copy, duplicate copy. Alright, so that's what I've written here. Clone, it's a convenient method to duplicate element on the page. Okay, duplicate an element on the exactly Control C, Control V कैसे काम करता है वैसे काम करेगा. It's mostly like Control C. Alright, so clone the content of paragraph and append-to. Append-to means add to. Come on, clone the content of the paragraph and add to either some div, आप चाहते तो इधर कोई डिवीजन टैग भी लिख सकते थे, और append to maybe some other paragraph whose id is mentioned here. I have written append to the body of the page. Okay, you try many more tags which can work here, like div, like span, or maybe like paragraphs. Hoping h1 people, how about h1, append to h1? Even that is possible. Got it? Fine. So let's do that. Let's do that quick. Let's do that. Okay. So let's say there is a button called as. Let's say there is a button called as hashtag P4. When someone clicks on this button, we declare an anonymous function here, okay, which is going to, this function is going to call the paragraph whose id is, let me say, P1. Clone this. You understand? Clone the content of it. When I say clone means it's going to clone. Yup, my friend, pass the same in some other element. Correct. But क्या clone होगा? Paragraph नहीं. उस paragraph का content means the text of the paragraph is going to clone it, and then append to some other tag. I'm writing body. You try with many other options like h1, h2, div, p, span, and so on. Right. I think button B4 doesn't exist here, so we have to create the one. Okay, this is the button B4. Let me change the text of that button. Let us call it as what should I say? Clone. Okay, let's see what happens. So this is a paragraph P1, and if I say clone, you could see this because this is where the body ends. Am I right? This is where the body is ending, so it is appending. Again clone, again clone, again clone, again clone, again clone. Right? And suppose instead of writing P1, अगर मैंने खाली P लिखा होता, that means जितने भी paragraphs है सबका content copy करिए और append in the body. Check. Are you understanding? Fine. So instead of mentioning the ID, if I have written tag here, that means all the paragraph must be cloned. People see, hello guys, what is my sole motto here, to understand the syntax better. आप जितना jQuery better समझेंगे उतना हमारे लिए React Angular का syntax coding environment familiar होता जाएगा. Is that okay? You cannot escape from JavaScript. In fact, that is the basis for many other framework. Hoping you are understanding my concept well. Is that okay? Fine. So, especially how to write this syntax, anonymous function क्या होता है, arguments कैसे लेता है, syntax कैसा है jQuery का, etc. So take some effort to understand. Alright? कभी हमको आगे जाकर clone करना पड़ेगा. Chances are very less, but the syntax matter here. Alright. Fine. I'm sorry. I did something wrong. Take it. Okay, what else I have to show you here? Okay, take it. I have written here, in fact there are many more methods you can try, like add a class. If you want, you see here, you see these buttons and these paragraphs are all classless. You want to add some class, so you can write here the function as add class. Add class and a class name. Say the name of the class is my class. Then similarly you can run the function called as has class. So there are two classes. One is called as class red, other is called as class blue. If you add this class, the paragraphs will already automatically become red in color. You understood? Paragraph will automatically become red in color. If I could quickly do that. So this is a class. Come, I never wanted to do this, but I'm still showing you. Dot class red. Okay, what this class is going to do. Because I just want to write here I just want to say, okay, let me orally tell you a brief info. Suppose, assume that we have two classes. Okay, one is say class red, another is say class blue. So if I add a class red, paragraph will be red. If I add a class blue, paragraph will be blue. You can also toggle between the classes. Okay, toggle between the classes. Okay, if time permit, ये सब हम करके देख लेते हैं. ठीक है? I have written these as an extra. If you have time, go ahead. Okay, that means toggle class red means what? If one is, it will become red, once it will not become red. Once it will become red, once it will not become red. Okay, fine. ये सारे functions as a function खाली याद रखना. इनको हमको कभी भी use करना पड़ेगा. Chances कम है. That's what I want to say. All of us here. Fine. How will you know who are the other methods and functions in jQuery? You simply go to the official website as I showed you yesterday and search them once. Okay, like this. This is my jQuery. Okay. Official jQuery website. Here. Okay, API people. Okay, you could see effects, events. Alright, scroll down, you'll find some methods as well. Okay, what method you want? Say I want a method called as width. Okay, or maybe inner width, outer width. See all these. Okay, I want something called as has class. So go to it, study more, etc. etc. Is that okay? All of us understanding? Take it. If this was about jQuery methods, okay, this is what about methods. Let's discuss some event. I cannot discuss all of them, but some events of jQuery. उसमें से एक event जो अब तक हमने कई बार use कर दिया, right since yesterday, that's a click event. Am I right? Now click is not any ordinary function. It's an event because that has been generated by the user. Is that okay? So let me not talk about the click event again because we know how does it work. We know how it works. Okay. There is another event called as a bind. People bind. Actually bind का काम क्या होता है? It just binds some event to any tag. Alright? It just binds. For example, like this. See. I just say $, paragraph. Okay. Dot. Not click this time, but bind. Takes two argument, people. Which event you want to bind? Say I want to bind the click event. And if someone clicks on the paragraph, what should this event do? So that will be defined by this callback function. I simply want to display a message. That's an alert message. Hello. Alright, so this is how bind does. Right? I have written some standard code as an example here, if you could understand. Okay. See what am I doing? I am binding mouseover event on H2. H2 पर हम ये event bind कर रहे हैं. इसको करना क्या है? ये event का काम क्या है? It has following properties. Like whoever calls this, it is going to change background color to pink, font size to something, and so on. Alright, and the text of H2 is nothing but displayed. Alright, and there is a button P3. If somebody clicks on that button, it's going to unbind this event from H2. Alright, if you find it little tricky, एक एक करके run करिए, एक एक करके run करते जाइए. Okay, see. I am clicking on hello, people. See, this is H1. Now you know, paragraphs don't have click events, people. Events are ideally associated with buttons, correct? Buttons है या links है या images है ज़्यादा में ज़्यादा. किसी text को click करने से if you want to give some effect, of course, then you want to bind that event with the element. Is it okay? So this is hello. If I click on hello, you look where is my mouse pointer now. I'm clicking here. So an alert box comes and says me here. Right? An alert box comes and says me here. Fine. Okay, I'll go to that code which I showed you again. उससे पहले एक छोटे-छोटे events देख लीजिए. See, there is one text box here. Input type is equals to text, correct? Now what I do is, let me code that. Say the one whose ID is T1. Okay, the one whose ID is T1 dot what should I say, blur. Okay, blur. Now you are going to tell me what is the meaning of blur. Function, this is an anonymous function. Okay, anonymous function. People, I just want to display somewhere an alert message. Lost. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, I get this message. When I come inside the text box, I write something, say Mumbai, something like that. But when I come out of the text box and click somewhere out, मैंने कहीं बाहर जाके click किया तो it shows me lost. Okay, so blur means what? When you lose the focus. Okay, when you lose the focus, that's called as blur. Remember these events, ये सब हमको आगे काम आएंगे. What if someone loses the focus? What if somebody gets the focus? Right? So what is the opposite of blur then? Say I want to get the focus. So let me take this element T1 again. This time not blur, but this time focus. Focus, people. Let's define an anonymous function for focus. And I display a message called as back. Okay, I display some message called as back. Alright, okay. So if I click inside the text box, that means it has got the focus. Okay, because I click outside the text box, it tells me lost. Back, lost. Back, lost. Hoping you understand. Let me refresh it. Okay, something like that. All of us would be glad if someone acknowledged to me in the chat section, are you understanding this event? Other than click, what are the possible events? That also is getting clearer. Of course, ये blur और focus आपकी वजह से generate हो रहा है, right? The blur event when the focus is lost, and the focus event when the focus is gained back. So these actions, or let me say this particular things are happening just because of your created action. All right, all of us. Okay, people have yet not responded. आप समझ रहे हो कि नहीं? It's important for us to know that you are understanding or not, so that we come to know what to repeat, what not. कोई चीज hard लगती है, नहीं समझती है तो बता दीजिए please. ठीक है? Okay, so these are something kind of events. Check. This is something I was talking here about. Okay, so let me copy this part. All that I need is one button and one h2 tag. So I paste it here. Okay, clear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What happened? There is something wrong. Okay, let's try. Okay, fine. Let me create one h2 and h2 process. Okay, let me call this button as b file. Can I? And here I call this button as b file. Let's see how it works. Let's see first the output. Let's get rid of any one of this. Let's get rid of any one of this. Means I want to get rid of this focus and blur because it is again and again disturbing people. या तो फिर उसको ऐसे नहीं बताने का, किसी पैराग्राफ में बता देने का ब्लड इफेक्ट या फेडिंग इफेक्ट में. आप समझ रहे बात? What am I talking? Okay, you are going to do that. You are going to do that. Still not. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me run this again. Take it. I click on this button. Which one? which one the button was? B5, and whom I made clone को मैंने B5 बनाया. Okay, if the code works well, otherwise I'll keep it troubleshoot it. Okay. Okay, this is my h2 tag. Well, I won't take a lot of time here. Are you understanding what's happening? See one more time. Okay. See again. This is h2 tag. Everybody try to code the stuffs like this. Come on, try to code it. This is h2 tag that says welcome. Okay, so h2. But the moment I bring my mouse over welcome, you see I'm not clicking. I'm just getting my mouse over it. It changes to displayed. And some color, background color changes, the style changes, right? So that is what we have binded here. h2 per we have binded a mouse over. That means if somebody keeps the mouse over h2, the background color will change to pink. Font size will change to something 30 pixel. And using text function, remember we started the lecture with HTML and the text function. We are setting the text of this particular h2 as displayed. This means people the current h2, the one who has called. For example मेरे पास एक नहीं दो 3 h2 है. यहाँ पर भी h2 है. See, this is something very important we are discussing in the end of the class today. Say this is also h2. Okay. So if I click here, it becomes. If I click here, it becomes. So if there are 10 h2, which h2 के साथ आपको bind करना है? This means the one which is currently clicked. Remember the use of this pointer that we studied in object-oriented programming. Oops, में पढ़ा था इसके बारे में. There can be many objects. So when you say this dot a, that means the current caller, correct? The present caller. So that is how it works. Yeah, CSS is a function, people. Right? CSS is a function. जैसे कि text is a function. CSS is also a function. देखना अगर आपको तो देख लीजिए. So there is a button called as B5. Let me take B5 again. और B1 ले लेते हैं. Okay. So there is a button called as B1. If someone clicks on this button, right? I'm calling this anonymous function. If someone clicks on this button, B1, or let's take paragraph 1. Here it is paragraph 1, correct? Fine. So paragraph 1, people, paragraph 1.css. Okay. The hundreds of CSS effect you can give here. I am giving background color. So this is a property. This is the value of the color you want. Should be changed to say blue. तो कभी होगा बटन 1 के क्लिक करने पर पैराग्राफ का बैकग्राउंड कलर शुड बी चेंज टू ब्लू. So if I come here and I click on this button, it's blue. Am I right? So this is how the CSS works. Instead of background color, you can set some other property value also, like width, comma something, height, comma something, margin, comma something, margin left, margin right, padding, something. So hundreds of such CSS effect that you can give using CSS function. That's the reason we say jQuery is HTML and a CSS manipulator. वो HTML और CSS दोनों का भी manipulator है. I hope you are understanding about it. Is that okay? Fine. Tell me how many events we discussed. हमने कौन से event के बारे में बात की? Bind, unbind. Bind and unbind. अच्छा हाँ, I think there was one button also, right? There was one button also. If I have to check. which button? B5. And where is B5? B5 is clone. Okay. Okay, anyways, I'll check. Fine. Why this unbind isn't working, I'll keep that part checked. Fine. So we have seen about what is bind. We saw about how click works. Is that okay? We saw about how click works. There are many more things. We saw about how blur works. We saw how focus works, correct? How blur works. We saw how the focus works, people. How focus works. People, key up, key down, change, these are time consuming code. ये सब हम copy paste नहीं करेंगे. I will type it in front of you. It will take good 15 to 20 minutes. So what we'll do is, this is too much for today. We'll keep this task to be done for tomorrow. I hope you got my point. ये कुछ ऐसे काम करता है, देखिए. This is how it works. Some code I have kept it coded. I knew we won't be able to complete. So this is a list of food items: medu vada, idli, pav bhaji, Manchurian, bhel puri and chaat. If I select Manchurian, it shows me selected item here. अभी यही काम अगर आप JavaScript CSS से करने जाओगे ना, लंबा चौड़ा कोड होगा. But JQuery makes this code very short. Okay, for example, from Swiggy or Zomato, I select some item, but these item names are printed on the bill with their amount, price, correct? So from my menu, what you selected, that should be printed on the bill or on the cart, correct or not? Cart पर उसको print करना पड़ेगा. Similarly, if I select pav bhaji, so look at it showing here pav bhaji. तो कभी बताता है ये सब when this input is been changed. Am I right? अब तक के pav bhaji, is it showing you anything else? No. Only if I change something here, like I select bhel puri, and it shows bhel puri. Am I right? So this is not ordinary click function, people. ये कोई ordinary click event नहीं है. This click event is generating a change in the list, correct? This click event is generating a change event. You are responsible to bring this change. Fine. The same thing it is doing here. Right? Fine. This code, how to code it, I'll explain you tomorrow once we do it. Similarly, key up, key down क्या होना चाहिए? Okay, you see the color button become green in color. हमने उसको कोड किया है ऐसा. इसके ऊपर माउस रख के अगर आप कोई कीबोर्ड की प्रेस करोगे तो कलर चेंज हो जाएगा. That's called as key down. You release it, it's called as key up. Similarly, mouse up, mouse down, or mouse over or mouse hover, etc. Hoping you are understanding, right? So when I meet you tomorrow, कल सबसे पहले ये सब काम करना है. Change event. Listen to my pointer. The target for tomorrow. कल क्या करना है? Change, be on time, join sharp at 4 PM. This code is little, I can't say tough, but it's logic based. ये सब logic लगेगा यहाँ पे. Okay, we will be coding as if we are framing this logic for some good website only. Right? So change function or the change event, key up event, key down event. Okay, mouse enter, mouse out, key up, key down, mouse enter, mouse out. इतने events आप सीख लोगे, even the coding of that game will become easier for you. Understood? Mouse out, mouse leave and so on. Right? Then what is the hover event? Hover कैसे काम करता है? Alright? How does hover work? How does mouse up, mouse down works? Alright? So all these things we'll see tomorrow. Alright? Fine. Sending you, my friend. Attendance sheet I'm sending you. Give me 1 more minute, please. Give me just a minute. I'll be sending you attendance sheet. Okay? So for tomorrow, कल क्या करना है? I'm letting you know right now. For tomorrow, first half we will be coding this part. Okay, at least till 4:25 tomorrow. Expect it. Okay, so above events, all the above events. Number 2, we will be talking about arrow functions and asynchronous function in JavaScript. Arrow functions, asynchronous functions also come with the doubt in anonymous function tomorrow. Today after the class and till tomorrow before the class, practice some anonymous function. You also Google more about them. कब यूज होता है, कैसे यूज होता है. What you don't understand about anonymous function, ask me in the class tomorrow. I shall extend the class tomorrow at the end by 10 more minutes for the doubt solving. Clear? So this will be the second thing we are going to do tomorrow. 1, arrow functions, anonymous functions 2, and उसके बाद में देखेंगे if time permits. So we will go to DOM and BOM, document object model, and the browser object model. Hoping you're understanding, right? So after completing all these things and some few more things, we will bring JavaScript to the end. जबकि there are some more concepts of JavaScript. अगर पढ़ा तो अच्छा है, but अगर हम नहीं कर रहे हैं तो that means we are going to take it in React, Angular and Django. I hope you got my point. Is that clear? For example, like Ajax, we aren't going to go into the depth of Ajax, people, but if you study Ajax, that's equally important. Okay, because जो Ajax करता है asynchronous JavaScript and XML, we will be achieving it through some other frameworks. Clear? Which is in fact better than what Ajax can do. Is that okay? All of us are fine. Acha, now what is been pending here from JavaScript, that will be validation, which was our last week Friday's class that had got cancelled. अब validation कब करेंगे, कहाँ करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे, we will see post Diwali. Alright, when I say post Diwali means after the days of the Diwali days are gone, that means any one Saturday Sunday, because people will be busy in the festival celebration, so I don't want to take any class on Saturday Sunday now. So post Diwali, any one Saturday Sunday, we will complete the validation part. I hope you got my point. Is that okay? Yes, Navin, notes I shall send you right after the class. Is that okay? Right? When I say notes means my lecture points, these files which I use. ये सब files जो हम use करते हैं, I call these as notes. I hope you got my point. All of us here fine. If the day we end up developing the perfect note, we will definitely forward it. Right? All of my friends who have joined us late today, we were learning jQuery, and make sure you practice tremendous, abundant. आप बहुत ज़्यादा practice करते हो घर पे. ये सारे functions जो हमने किया आप भी करते हो. In case if you have not understood anything today, please watch the session one more time. Look at the part what missed you, what has confused you. Come with the doubts tomorrow. All of us here. Okay? ठीक है? चलिए. That's all. Okay? Fine class. Bye. See you. Goodbye and meet you tomorrow.